Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for coming, Mr. Secretary. When we had the regulators in here, we asked them about common sense without forbearance, and they were all about that. But what they told us and what is going on in Florida right now are not the same. Regulators will mark down a performing loan because they don't think you should be able to make it. I mean, the evidence of a performing loan used to be whether or not it's performing. Now it's whether or not, in the examiner's wildest imagination, it shouldn't be performing. I hope you can have some input on that with your position.
I would like nothing better. Let me just say to you that I agree it's a problem still. It's a hard problem to fix because, you know, people tendencies to overreact when a crisis like this because they want to be careful. But if they overdo it, it's a problem.
One question I have is whether or not you agree with the academics who claim the recession is over.
You know, I'm not an economist, and I'm not an academic, and I would just say the following. This is still a very tough economy. Absolutely.
I know, but you're supposed to be the smartest guy in the nation on that subject.
Not a chance.
And if you don't know, nobody knows. Do you think we've bottomed out? Do you think the recession's over?
I will say the following, which is the best measures we have of how the economy is performing today tell the following story. We've now been growing, meaning the economy has been growing. Incomes have been growing now for more than 12 months. The private sector, not the government, the private sector has been creating jobs
Secretary,
now.
Please, just tell me yes or to the best of your knowledge. Swag it. Don't be afraid. You know, just say, I think it's over or I don't think it's over. That's all I want to know.
I am very confident, absolutely very confident, that this economy is on a path to a gradual, steady improvement in economic growth.
You know what? I think we all are. If we don't bust, we will recover in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years.
You're asking me technical.
Someday. But
it's the gentleman's time. If he wants to talk, he can talk. The Secretary will listen.
Thank you.
Gentleman may talk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just hoping that you would shock a bunch of people and man up and say yes or no.
I just don't, you know, I think the question about what economists think about recessions is
I don't care what the economists think. I want to know what you think.
Spoke to it.
I know what my retired people in my district think. I know what the working people in my district think. I know what the husbands and wives, what they think. But I want to know what you think.
I think we're in violent agreement.
You're the Secretary of the Treasury. Do you think we're out of the recession? Do you agree with the academics or not?
I think we're in violent agreement, Congressman, that this is still a very tough economy, and we are still living with the deep scars caused by this crisis. Absolutely, and we have a lot of work to do to repair that damage. I think we're agreeing, not disagreeing.
Well, it's just such incredible effort just to get a yes or no out of anybody in Washington. I think that's what frustrates the public. That's what makes the public distrust us more. Again, you know, you're the highest authority in the land on this right now, and I just ask you what time it is, and you want to describe a clock. And just say, yeah, I think we're out of it. I agree with the academics, or no, I don't think we're out of it.
I agree. I'll try one more time. We are absolutely out of the worst stage, most gravest, most severe, most at-risk point of this crisis. Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're getting warmer. Go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman, I just want to say, I obviously was giving the gentleman time, but and I'll give him extra time, but I'm disappointed that you would pursue it in that fashion. You know, the gentleman from Texas had some interesting questions. We've had some thoughtful debate. I would hope that we could have a serious economic discussion, not play gotcha. The gentleman has extra time if he wants to respond.
This isn't a gotcha, Mr. Chairman. I get asked by my people back home every day, when are we going to get out of the recession? What do you think about the recession? And I'm asking the person that I think would be the foremost authority.
He was trying to give you a thoughtful answer. Well, if you didn't like the answer, that's one thing, but he wasn't evading the question.
No, listen, if I ask you a question that's a yes or no question, and you want to dance and just say, you know, the honest approach is say, I'm going to refuse to answer your question.
Well, the gentleman, what if I say, that's not a very thoughtful question. That's a question which takes categories that I don't think are realistic and that excludes our being able to give a good answer. The National Bureau of Economic Research is a private group. It's not the government. And if the gentleman has a quarrel with them, he ought to write them a letter.
Well, I mean, they have an opinion. I have an opinion. I'm sure you have an opinion. I was just wondering what the Secretary's opinion is. There's nothing diabolical, sinful, mean, evil, wicked, nasty, partisan about that. I just wonder if he personally believes like the academics do, that the recession is over, or if he doesn't agree with the academics that it's not over. I mean, this is supposed to be the smartest guy in the world.
Well,
And I'm
Gentleman
asking him a
Yield,
simple question.
that kind of, it's an interesting concept. It's insult by excessive compliment. The Secretary's never claimed that. The gentleman, it's got as much time as he wants, but I'm just disappointed that it takes that tone. He's never claimed that. He's a very thoughtful guy. But that kind of denigration by hyper compliment, I don't think advances the discussion.
Mr. Chairman, it's not a hyper compliment. It's a sincere, my question is sincere. There's no ulterior motive.
Well, the gentleman sincerely believes he's the smartest
I
man in
do.
the world?
I beg your pardon?
Does the gentleman sincerely believe that the Secretary of the Treasury is the smartest man in the world?
On this subject,
You didn't say that.
on this subject, I sure hope he is.
Well, but see, that's the problem with yes or no on this subject. I didn't get a yes or no when I asked you.
I'll give
I
you a
asked
yes. How about that? Yes.
I asked you if you believed you're the smartest man in the world, and you didn't give me a yes or no. You said on this subject.
I'll tell you yes right now. The second smartest man in the world. You've got to be the smartest.
No, I would say I might have been, but not after engaging in this conversation. No one would think I was very bright.
Mr. Chairman, I have a,
Time has expired and the hearing is over.